Policy on safety and security zones around maritime installations. The National Security Minister tells of the formation of an implementation naval team and plans to acquire new technology and vessels within the next year. Liran Brummel reports.
The National Security Minister says there have been a number of complaints by energy stakeholders for better protection of their installations. In response, the creation of safety zones within the country's maritime borders is on the cards.
This protection is not only needed from the hands of terrorists or saboteurs, but from other maritime users such as fishermen and the local boating community, who may for one reason or the other cause harm to these installations.
This will ensure that vessels, local or international, do not come within 500 meters of the 104 installations, reduce the risk to the environment and limit disruptions. It will work hand in hand with the Energy Sector Security Initiative, which it is hoped will build stronger partnerships with stakeholders.
It will also identify and provide recommendations to secure key critical assets within the energy sector. It will also develop a policy for the establishment of safety and security zones around offshore installations and develop capabilities among law enforcement and security agencies to detect, prevent, mitigate, respond to, and recover all possible threats and hazards against our nation's energy resources.
But for these to work, personnel and equipment will be necessary. The minister says an implementation naval team, headed by retired Commodore Anthony Franklin, has been tasked with finding the necessary equipment.
So what we're doing is not putting square pegs in round holes, but putting horses for courses, experts who have traveled and actually looking to ensure that we have the right type of naval mechanism to ensure proper border protection for Trinidad and Tobago waters. And that will involve the acquisition of interceptors, hovercraft, coastal patrol platforms that will have the interceptors out, a proper radar, the use of the UAVs and helicopters.
The team is expected to return from Colombia shortly. They've also been to Korea, China and Holland in search of vessels to bolster maritime security. Minister Griffith says they have identified vessels that are the equivalent of the cancelled offshore patrol vessels worth between $400 to $500 million. And these vessels are to be docked at coastal floating platforms.
This will involve putting platforms just about 2 miles offshore, especially in the critical areas, more within the Gulf of Paria and the south coast of Trinidad and Tobago, where those platforms 2 miles out, interceptors will be more than the platforms. Any illegal vessel entering our shores, it will be picked up immediately by the radar. It will be fed to the National Operations Center in real time, upon which those individuals on the coastal platforms can then immediately mount onto the interceptor for interception.
Minister Griffith says the vessels and other equipment are expected to arrive in TNT by this time next year. Liran Brummel,